Welcome to the Back Nine Six Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Back Nine Six Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. We're having like a darty version of the show here today.
Yeah, middayer.
Middayer. I was off work today. I think you had a limited day.
Light day.
Light day. So we're here early doing the day drinking special, which I'm going to go ahead and...
All right, let's do this.
Yeah, let's fire them up.
4th of July. Oh, my God.
There we go.
That just hits different on a holiday week.
It does. It's always weird when these holidays fall on like a Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just...
Yeah, you get that like day in there where it's like, there's like, like even the people that are like quote unquote working, are they actually working like that much? But it's also if you're a person that has vacation days. I mean, you take vacation last week, you take a vacation day Monday, you get 9 days for the price of 6.
Yeah, that's nice. I turned it into a 5-day weekend myself here, so I can't complain. We've got a series of, I think, dating back like 2 weeks. I think I'm on like a 4-week stretch of not working a full week, which is just
awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
anyway,
always love those.
Usually I toss the ball to you, but I'm going to take the ball on this one because I had an awesome dad moment yesterday. Took Zach over to Eagle Tee, a little driving range.
Love
with
it.
the putt-putt.
Right down the street from the both of us, yep.
Yeah, and so we're there, and he was went and hit balls. He was whacking some bombs, as he says. Interesting way to say it. And then he talked me into putt-putt, and we were out there on the putt-putt course. And
I talked you into putt-putt.
Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of whole talking into doing that, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there was a ton of people out there, and I was like, do I really want to burn an hour and a half on this? Turns out I did, because we got like halfway through, and we were sitting there waiting, and he was like, Dad, this is the greatest thing to ever happen to me.
That's awesome.
Right in the heart, just pierced me. It was fantastic. And then he also made mention that his favorite thing about the driving range is having his dad with him. So
that's freaking awesome.
I had a busy week the week prior, so I didn't get to see him too much. So it was really great to kind of cap that off with that.
When you hear your kids say that, because like I've had Evelyn, my oldest, say that too. It's like, all right, Dad's got to use the restroom real quick. Go and it's like, all right, wipe the tears away a little bit. Yeah, that's always good to hear. That's awesome.
So yeah, that was great.
We just got to keep him away from football. We got to keep him in golf.
Oh, I don't know. He he liked flag football, so I don't know. We'll see where it goes. And obviously, there's some family history with football, so I'm gonna be fighting hard on that one.
You're outnumbered. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So you've played a couple times since last week's show.
Yeah. So I had my first match play match on Thursday.
This is the match play we run at the Elks.
Yes, yep. And this is one of my goals is to win it again this year. I didn't win it last year. I lost in the first round. I don't know, like, because we had Wednesday Night League. I didn't hit the ball like great, but I was just coming off a 66.
Yeah.
So like, but Wednesday Night League, like we've talked about this. Like I go out and it's like birdies or bogeys. Like I don't really care to make pars because it really doesn't do you any good, especially at my handicap. Like, it just doesn't do you any good. Came out, got off to an early lead. I was up 2 through 3. And there's just like some weird stuff happened. Like, I mean, I hit a couple bad shots. Like, not like terrible shots, bad shots. And like, the balls were just gone. And then, match play is all momentum, right? So it's like, even though I was still like 1 up after all this bad, weird stuff that kind of happened, I kind of dodged a couple bullets. Like, all of a sudden, like, he gets it back to even at the turn. And then, like, chips in on 10. Like, I had a 4-footer for birdie. Chips in on 10. I miss it. Now I'm down 1. Mm. And I birdied the next hole. We went back to all square through 11. Had opportunities on 12, 13 to take a 1-up lead again. Missed those birdie putts. And then we get to a par 5, and like on the other side, I lost the ball on a par 5. Like those should be me playing a guy in his 50s. Like those should be like almost automatic wins because I'm going to be going driver, 5-iron, 6-iron, maybe a 4-iron, and this guy's going to be like driver, layup, wedge on. like best case scenario. So these should be automatic ties, almost automatic wins. And I pump it into the woods. I'm like, what the hell? So I lose a par 5. I had to drain like a 30-foot birdie putt on 15 to get it back to all square. And then we pillow fought the last 3 holes. And when I say pillow fought, we legitimately pillow fought. Bogey. We tied holes. We tied 16 and 17 with bogeys.
Nice.
And then we tied a par 5 with a par. And then the 19th hole, he got in the trees and just whacked it around. And I ended up winning, but it wasn't good. I was not feeling well about my game after that round. And then I go out the next day, playing a money game, 7 birdies, 3 dumb bogeys, 68 again. Mm-hmm. Win some money, and I'm other than the match play, I'm in a birdie making mood. It's just. And I'm not, and it's not because I'm making long putts. I'm just hitting really good iron shots, which
this is what we like to hear because the next topic,
yeah, you
went with the ultimate Furter draft for our July 4th event tomorrow.
Yeah,
Shout out Brian Whitmer for running that.
Yeah, I told you, I said, I feel like the vibes in the group will drive good play, and we definitely went that route. Maybe. Some out of choice, some out of, guys got picked that I kind of had. I told you the guys that I had my eye on. And
sure.
I think I got guys that I said I had my eye on. And just, there were other guys maybe slightly ahead of them that just because of the strokes they get, I was going to maybe, because it's 1 net, 1 gross on each hole.
Yeah.
You just have to have guys that are getting a lot of shots at some point. You do have to worry about the gross ball, but you also have to worry about the net ball too.
Do we have a tee time yet?
Yeah, so we're off at 8:45. I think we're the 3rd group off. They just went out. But there's the teams.
What's your initial impression here?
My initial impression is we are the team to beat.
Sweet.
Just strictly because 2 of the guys that are playing in this, one of the guys that runs it, I played on Friday. We get through 16 holes. I have 7 birdies. And he goes, how much do I have to pay you for you to draft me first? He's like, I need 7 birdies. And then don't forget that Friday before that, I made 8 birdies.
Right. So
15 birdies in 36 holes. And he's like, how much do I pay you to get on your team? Draft me first if I'm available. And I'm like, but so I think we're the team to beat. I mean, out of all the A's, I know I can make the most birdies. I think out of all the B's, kind of looking if you're split them up that way, you're right there. You I know you were quote unquote by handicap the worst B player.
That's good news, I think.
But I told you, I said I just need 2 or 3 out of you.
Yeah, we'll squeeze a couple out. Like I said, I just hope
just not on the same hole.
Yeah, that's exactly how it'll go down. But.
And then Cody, our buddy Cody and Derek, they're on our team too. Derek always seems that I've played with him in the McGonigal 4 years ago. He seems to do well on, or actually I played with him in the McGonigal. He seems to do well on stroke holes.
So I think this is how I feel it's going to shake out. I think Cody and Derek are pretty volatile players.
They are.
Specifically Cody, which I think that's where you're going to get your gross birdies from. If I'm being honest, I think I'm going to be your guy that is going to squeak out the net birdies that we need here and there when other guys are just absolutely.
And you know how Cody is. Cody with a little bit of coaching and just keeping him engaged.
Yeah, you just got to keep him engaged.
He's a 10 that can play like a 2, but he's also a 10 that can play like an 18 too. Yeah. But I think that comes hey Cody, you're getting a pop here. It's 370 yards. You don't need to hit driver. Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff. My initial thought is I think we're the team to beat. I know everybody says that oh, we're confident. I love the team I drafted. I legitimately believe looking at our team, we are the team to beat.
Good. That's where we want to be.
So I want the target on our back.
Although the only problem is going to be when all the parimutuel money also comes in on us. So then we won't win any money on our own
bet,
team.
I know 2 people that aren't even playing in the tournament want me to bet for them on us. And I'm like, you do realize that this defeats the purpose of me putting any money on us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to just because you have to, but I'm not expecting a big return on that.
And so just so you know, the payouts they don't do total. 18 holes.
It's by 9 and then skins
so
and
it's
greenies.
1,200 for the front, 1,200 for the back, 1,200 for skins, and then 100 for closest to the pins.
Okay.
The 1,200 for skins, like, and this is where last year, like when I played in this, we got a skin, and we almost made as much money as one of the teams that won one of the sides.
So is it like team score for the
Yeah.
hole? Okay.
Yeah. So I think our
combo
skin was
of
worth
gross
like
and
$300 a person because there was only 2 skins out.
Okay.
So you're not like, that's why I do like this, because like sometimes in the scrambles, like if you're like, oh fuck it, we're out of it, like, and then the skin pot's only like $600. You're like, maybe we can squeeze out a skin. We're not going to win, but this skin pot is like legit.
Well, I think there's on this course specifically, like you can have an absolute heater 9, but then have a 9 where you're just cold as ice too.
Yeah.
So it's nice to go by 9s too.
And most of the time, people just smoke the red and then get on the white and kind of teeter out, you know. So, but I just like our group because I think we can all play both sides well. I think there's groups in here that will play the red side really well, and then I don't think they have a shot on the white side just because of the distance they have on their team. There's not a lot of distance. You know, when we're going to be hitting wedge for the most part, they're going to be hitting 7-irons. You know.
Yeah, and we've gotten some rain too, so.
Yeah, and that only makes it better for us because, like, we carry the ball, you know, at the minimum, like, you and Derek are still carrying the ball, like, 265, 270, you know. Mm-hmm. So, like, if that's worst case, there's other teams I looked at that don't even have people that can hit the ball, to like, not much less carry the ball. They're not even hitting at 260 when it's dry out. So.
Are the pins going to be wonky?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've heard, pending no rain overnight, the greens are going to get cut and rolled, or double cut and rolled. So they'll be about 12s. So I like our chances, though. I do.
It.
The ultimate goal will be double dip both sides, just rail everybody, take our $2,400 and call it a day.
I mean, that would be nice. But we'll take any W's sprinkled in throughout the day.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I like the event is awesome, and the Heart Attack Open, as it was deemed in the email as a joke. But glad it's not the Brian Whitmer Memorial; it's the Brian Whitmer Tournament still.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Well, speaking of taking wins anywhere, Rickie Fowler finally got it done. 1
week after I said he needs a win to get on the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, and I think we both talked about this last week, he had played well enough this season to probably have a spot.
He should, yeah.
But I think getting the win just like,
and honestly, he's played well enough to have a couple wins, like not just one, a couple wins. And man, his reaction, I think on the playoff hole when he made the putt, and he just like looks up in the air, like it was like relief.
Yeah,
and that's kind of part of it's kind of sad because it's like he puts that much pressure on himself, like. You know, he said in his press conference, he was like, I know I can do this. Like, at one point, I was one of the best golfers in the entire world. And now it's just, like, nice to, like, be able to climb that mountain, like, know that I'm back at that, you know, playing at that level. But it was cool. That reaction was just like, you know, he was just like, finally. Like, this hard work, 2 years leads to this. So
like I said, I took Zach to the driving range, so I didn't really watch the end of it. Actually, many people didn't watch the end of it because the streaming was just an absolute
they teed off it. They teed. Well, they had to for the weather, right? They had to push it up.
But they have to find a way to work this stuff out with the TV rights and everything. Like you can't just.
And let's be honest, like what does CBS have on at 9:00 in the morning that people are actually going to watch?
What, Meet the Press?
Yeah, like what are they getting? Like 50,000 viewers a show, like. If you had golf on at 9 a.m. on a Sunday, especially a holiday weekend, dude, there would have been 80 million people watching that at that point.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I wasn't really watching, but I was getting texts. My good buddy Tyler is a huge Rickie Fowler fan. He grew up in that sort of era, you know? And I just had a feeling, I was like, man, he 3-putts 14 for par, and then doesn't birdie the other par 5, I think it was 17. And I'm like, dude, he's doing it again. It's going to
happen again.
It's the same thing.
And then you saw, like, who was behind him. Like, man, like Colin, he's got a couple more holes left. Like, if he squeezes in a birdie, like, this could be over.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So, I mean, he gets up there and stuffs it on the 72nd hole and makes it to force the playoff. hits one off the planet into the hospitality, it sounded like, on the first playoff hole, but then is the closest to the pin after that on the second shot. So.
Yeah.
And then him making the 11-footer or whatever it was to win was awesome. Icing on the cake.
Man, I'm so happy for him. Like, I think we all know how golf can be. Like, even when you're playing your best, right? It can feel so hard, even when you're playing your best. And I feel like this past year for him, like especially when he started playing well in the fall, it was like, man, he had the feel in his head like, I'm playing so good right now, and it's just like the results aren't there. For him to like now get those results and get a win again is, I'm so happy for him, man. He's a genuinely good guy too.
Yeah, I think he said it in the whatever, it was either with the interview with Amanda or his press conference that like he knew he was playing good enough to win. It was just a matter of time that it would happen.
Yeah,
and just keep sticking to it and continue that run of success and culminate in this moment is awesome. I will say, I think I saw he was like 2 of 10 in closing out 54-hole leads going into yesterday. So, like, if he did not, I mean, that's all right. 3 of 11 still not good, but, like, it would have been really tough to come
and, like,
back
having that winning mentality, right? Like, it's easy for someone, like, when we think back to Tiger Woods and, like, Phil, and, like, these guys are so good that, like, when they get a lead, they close it out. Like, that's hard. It's they made it look easy. It's not that easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it really isn't. And especially with the break that he took to be able to go into Sunday with a lead and, like, close it out with all that on his mind. Like, not just like, okay, I'm here to win a tournament, but like, oh my God, I haven't won in forever.
Well, yeah, and then think about it, too. It's like, okay, there's weather issues. They're moving the tee times around. We're playing off both sides. And
he got done at, like, 6:30 on Saturday and teed off at 8:45 the next day. Like, that's not what they're used to either.
So you don't even get to go through your own, normal routine and all that. So just really crazy. But awesome for him. Other notables, I mean, obviously he beat Morikawa and had one in the playoff.
Colin seems to be coming to form. So
yes, which... Of course, like I'm a week early on him when I take him in one and done last week. Anyway, that's good to see him coming back. He was talking about having just like the left miss being in play, and so he feels like he sorted that out because obviously a fader of the ball. So
yeah, he cuts the ball. Yeah,
that's good for him. Other than that, there really weren't that many guys. Like I mean, Finau, Hideki, JT were the other high profile names. All missed the cut.
Yeah, and then you had
JT
Max.
looking like
we won't even get to JT.
Again.
JT just like we were like talking like, man, if he puts a couple of these together, like he might be figuring it out. Next week he comes out and just absolutely lays an egg. And I will say, in his defense, I don't think that course sets up well for him. In fairness,
no, probably not.
Just knowing his game, like, it's just not a course for him. Yeah.
But Max T21, but the notable thing, he had an ace on 15 on Sunday. Always cool.
Yeah.
Hole in one.
Did you see his press conference? I think on Saturday
when JT asked him the question.
No.
Okay.
There was a guy in the press that was like, Max, would you deem what you're going through right now like a mini slump? And he was just like, no. He's like, I've got 8 top 10s. I'm playing pretty good. It's just really, really freaking hard to win out here. Like, what a dumb question, by the way. Like, if he asked JT that, understandable. Like, he's not played well the entire year. We went over his stats last episode, like 2 top 10s, things like that. I would not deem what Max is in a slump. In any, like, even a mini, he was like a mini slump. And I'm like, no, like, top 10s win out here. Like, you're going to keep your card. And 2, you're going to make a shitload of money if you have 8 top 10s.
Right.
And then, he came in 21st this week, but I thought it was like, he was like, that's a dumb question. It's not like he's out here shooting. He shot 81 in the U.S. Open. Like, he did miss the cut at the U.S. Open.
Right. He was close. I think he was on the number, maybe a shot
but
back.
That stuff happens, right, in the major. That's going to happen. But I thought that was such a dumb question. I'm like, I don't even know who it was that asked him. But I saw it get posted, and he was kind of like taken back from it. Like, I'm not in a slump. Like, I just shot 4 rounds in the 60s. Like, it's just hard to win, And I guess when you get to that level he's on, it's like people expect you to win
so
more.
Maybe a good problem to have for Max, right?
Yeah. But it still was like, that's such a dumb question. But anyway, I'll get off of that. But
no, that's fine.
It kind of pissed me off a little bit. I was like, of all guys that ask this question, you should be asking like Justin Thomas this, Jordan Spieth this, things like that. Like him? No, he's actually had a good year. He's just, I don't think he's won this year.
No, he won it.
Oh, yeah, he did win. Yeah, he won it.
Pines.
Yeah. But so he's actually won this year. JT's not won this year. Like, ask him that question. So
Fair. Yeah, I don't really have any other notables because that was about it. I did want to make note because we're heading to the Barbasol in 2 weeks. Our guy, Kevin Roy, Jay Green on the bag, missed the cut on the number. We were close.
yeah,
So close.
man. That's tough, though. Like, coming off a baby being born. It's just, that's, you hope for, like, the extracurricular push, per se, but he's also still coming off having a baby. So it's, like, kind of one of those things. But I think we're all excited to get down there and watch Jay do his thing and watch Kevin at the Barbasol here in, 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
2 weeks away.
So.
All right. This one, who needed the back 9 6-pack this week? I just tried to look through everything. Honestly, scores are kind of low. It was,
it was not a hard course for those guys. Yeah, it was soft. They had some storms. Like, if that course got firm, I could see the scores being a lot higher. But with how soft it was, there was no way they were going to be high.
Yeah, so I think the best example I could find was on Sunday. Matthias Schwab shot 78. A lot of guys were going low, especially with the soft conditions. I mean, he went from 7 under to 1 under, like all the way down to DFL during this round. So he started on the back 9, the 10th hole, and shot 1 over. No birdies. Definitely needed the back 9 6-pack. He did not get it because he went on to shoot a 41 with a birdie on the front 9, his back 9. 78,
Not great.
Lose a bunch of money, points, however you want to look at it. I think it's an easy answer given what else was on the leaderboard this week that he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, if you're shooting 78 on a course that guys are going, I don't know. I think, what did Rickie shoot on Saturday, like 64 or something like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yesterday, Colin shot, 65? 60,
yeah. Yeah, that's tough. 78 on course these guys are going that low on. I do want to point out one more notable.
Yeah, please.
Chase Johnson. So he won the John Shippen. So the John Shippen is the tournament they hold for the APGA before the Rocket Mortgage, and whoever wins gets a exemption into the Rocket Mortgage Classic. If you're not familiar with the APGA, it's like minorities. So it's based around giving minorities chances to play professional golf, essentially. He wins the John Shippen on Sunday last week. He gets into the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and then he makes his first cut at the Rocket Mortgage. I think he finished 7 under. I don't think he had a great weekend. He's T64, but for a guy that's he's used to playing for pots that are 50,000. You're playing for this kind of pot. I mean, that's going to be a pretty good payday for someone that's trying to, expand their playing career. So shout out to him. I thought it was really cool. The PGA Tour did a really cool. They kind of followed him the whole week. They did some videos when he made the cut. Like, his mom was bawling her eyes out. Dad was crying. Like, it was a really cool scene. And you just forget when we talk about guys like, Finau and the guys that were like, well, there's not a lot of big names in this, but like the Roms and stuff, like, we're like, oh, he's only won X amount of times this year. And then you see guys like this that are like out there grinding their ass off, make a cut. Like, and they're so happy just to make the cut. Like, that to me is the romantic side of golf, and I love it. So
yeah, they're so this is a different story and different path there. But I saw on the DP World Tour there was a former club pro that actually stamped his ticket to play in the Open this year at the Betfred British
I saw that too.
Masters.
Yep.
So I mean, it is cool when you get.
It's hard not to get romantic about golf. It really is. When you hear stories like that, it's
especially with all the conversation the way it's been with all the.
It's all about money.
All the money stuff and restructuring all the tours and everything. Like, it is cool to see when you get these stories, and that's what made like the Michael Block thing at the PGA so popular,
cool.
right?
Yeah. So, who doesn't want to see that? So.
No, that's cool. Thanks for shouting that out. I didn't even.
When we were kind of talking about what we were going to talk about today, I was like, I saw that. I'm like, man, that was such a cool story. And the PGA Tour did. Shout out PGA Tour. They're usually not great with some of their social media stuff, but they did a really good job at like kind of tracking him throughout the week, and then he makes the cut and all that. It was pretty cool. So
yeah, I mean, I just looked. He shot 70, 70, 68, 73. So
Yeah.
3 rounds under par.
Yeah, his Sunday was not great. 73. If he shoots 68, he's probably getting a top 30, top 40, and that'd have been even a better paycheck. But 64th is going to be a lot. I mean, I don't know what he got for winning the John Shippen, but I want to say it was only like 10 or 15 grand. He probably just made 10 or 15 grand.
Probably.
He probably made 15 grand coming in 64th. So shout out to him. That was cool.
Awesome. This week we've got the John Deere Classic. Haven't even looked at the field. No idea.
It used to
who's
be
going
known
to
as
that.
what did they call it? The Steve Stricker Pension Fund.
Yeah.
Because he always, him and Zach Johnson.
Him and Zach Johnson. I think they both won it 3 times or something. Crazy. So, yeah.
Low scores. I expect very low scores. It's one of those tournaments that you would think that just kind of like out of your mind. I always enjoyed watching it though. I don't know why.
I don't know. Our buddy Ryan plays out there. He travels for work a lot and has played there several times. Says it's a great spot.
And I think, and they've got a lot of bigger names in there now because they charter a flight from the tournament to the Open.
Yep.
So they're like, look, come play in it. We'll pay for the flight from here directly to the Open. So stay over here. Don't go overseas. So they do get a decent field that play in it. Like I know Jordan's played in it the last 4 or 5 years. I know he has.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite non-elevated events, I guess you could say, or non-major events. Even though it's fun, they go a lot under. 18's got a lot of drama. Tough tee shot, tough second shot. Even though the course is kind of gettable.
Yeah.
So Paul Goydos has the course record out there, by the way.
Wow. What did he shoot?
59.
Okay, I was going to say.
In that
was that
tournament.
when he shot 50? Okay.
And then shout out Kevin Hall, played in an APGA tournament out there. He's got the course record from the black tees. They don't play the TPC tees for the APGA,
Sure.
I guess, or maybe they had a mix of them. But he's got the course record. I think he shot 61. So
that's awesome.
A little course knowledge there.
Nice. I like that. All right. So 4th of July. You had a recommendation that we should power rank patriotic songs about America, however you want to look at this.
By the way, my favorite holiday.
Your favorite holiday?
I'm a pyro at heart.
Ah, okay. So
after we're done with this, I'm going to the fireworks store.
God. Don't JPP yourself before our tournament
I
tomorrow.
don't. I know when the fuse is getting close. Okay.
Good God.
But my favorite holiday, and I said, let's rank some patriotic songs.
Yeah. So, like I said, I texted you before this. I said, I don't know if we'll have a single song that crosses over. We might have one. Because my approach to this was I don't know. They're songs that make me think of America. They're about the American experience in some way. I didn't want to come on here and be like, America the Beautiful and God Bless America. And
well, there's,
blah,
and
blah,
like
blah.
I told you, these songs have been remade so many times.
Yeah.
There's some versions that are really, really good, and there's some versions that are really, really bad.
Sure.
So that's kind of the route I went too.
Do we want to start with, because you know me, I got to have honorable mentions. Do we want to start with honorable mentions or end with honorable mentions?
Let's start with honorable mentions.
Okay, let's get all these out of the way. So what didn't make the list?
So for me, what didn't make the list, ROCK and the USA.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Slightly out. It was almost in, just an all-around good song, right?
Not top 6 worthy, though.
It's not. But it embodies United States, kind of that rock era, poppy rock era kind of thing. So that was my first honorable mention.
Okay. I have 3 honorable mentions, so I don't know how many you wound up with, but
I have a couple.
Okay. So I feel like I just need to note America the Beautiful, the Ray Charles version specifically, I think is the GOAT. So that's my first honorable mention.
Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue by Toby Keith.
I thought that would be on your list.
No, and it's so funny. So I was at the lunch. I was at the lunch with my assistant Devin, and she used to work at Toby Keith. And I told her, I was like, when I was making this list, sitting next to her, I was like, I'm not going to put any Toby Keith on this songs on this list, so I don't offend you.
Okay.
So that was part of it. It would have been like maybe 6 if I like included it.
Sure.
But no, I left it off.
I left American Woman by the Guess Who off.
That's
Lenny
a good
Kravitz
song.
also
It is.
a fire version of
It
that
bangs,
song.
yeah.
But yeah, left it off.
My last one was American Soldier by Toby Keith. That was a very close one. It's sad, but it like talks about, you know, people who served and things like that. And
Sure,
it's a good song, especially for the 4th of July. Yeah, I left that one off too.
Like I said, I had a lot of like, Americana, American Experience type music influence on mine.
Yep.
I left Jack and Diane by John Mellencamp off.
That's a good song. I agree with that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have one more honorable mention.
Sucking
I was
on
kind
Chili
of just
Dogs.
Small Town USA
Okay.
by Justin Moore.
Yeah.
Some people might not know that song, but
I think most people, anyone that's ever listened to country's probably heard it. But
Yeah,
if you're not a country person, I obviously.
yeah, if you're not a country person, you never heard it. But that was another one that kind of like, when I think of America, I think of small towns. Like I went to college in a small town.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think of. So,
All right,
but that was probably the most distant honorable mention.
I cannot. We didn't have a similar honorable mention, so I can't wait to see how this goes.
This is gonna be good. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
You go first. That's
6, and I'm gonna get filleted for this one, but I don't even care because you know what? If you hear this song, I guarantee you're probably like, okay, I'm gonna sing along to this. I went "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
fine. Okay. I couldn't put it on any of these lists, but did it cross my mind? Yes.
Yes. If anybody fillets me for this, I'm like, I guarantee they either A, have a daughter that they've heard this song and they're probably like, okay, like it's not terrible. It was the good Miley Cyrus before she went crazy, you know. So I put it on my list. I like it. Sue me.
I respect it. I didn't put it on, like I said, but it crossed my mind for sure.
I'm connected to my feminine side.
You're a girl, Dad. You should be.
Yeah, I have to stay connected to my feminine
to.
side.
Number 6 for me was American Pie by Don McLean.
I guess for me it was like it kind of embodies, like it talks about being American, but I don't know, it just didn't ring 4th of July to me. Kinda.
Sure, exactly. No, I was gonna say like I said, all my songs are more like about America in some way or capture some version of America. American Pie is mostly about the plane crash that killed Buddy Holly.
Yes.
The day the music died.
Yep.
But throughout the whole thing, it's like just references to American history left and right and the American experience.
Yes.
I think it's even preserved in the Library of Congress as like one of the more influential pieces of artwork or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, that's my number 6.
All right, my 5. Real American by Rick Derringer.
Dude,
that's 5 for me.
Look, I straight up, even though I was pushing for you to use this on one of our social videos you make this week, I completely forgot when it came to making this list. So I just...
Yeah, it made it one, like obviously wrestling, things like that. Like
shout out Hulk Hogan.
Brother. But most recently, Eastbound and Down, you know, that scene when they play this song, and it's incredible. But it's kind of, to me, embodies 4th of July, like over the top American, like
yes, over the
you know
top
what I mean,
Americanism.
like just like in your face. So that's why I put it on the list.
No, that's great.
So,
I honestly just
like Americans in general are over the top, in your face, like I'm American kind of thing.
And that's why I thought our list would be very different, because mine is the opposite of that. Number 5 for me, Take Me Home, Country Roads, John Denver.
I like that. That's actually...
not expressly 4th of July, not expressly American, but I think it, like I said, embodies the soul
Appalachia,
of the country.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and as much as people forget about the Appalachian region and things like that.
Flyover States, right?
The Flyover State, like that's such a good song. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, my 4, Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen.
Okay. Well, we can talk about this more, too. I mean, if you want to holster. Do you want to holster?
I'll
for the
holster.
debate?
I'll holster.
Okay, we'll holster, because that's higher on my list. 4 for me, John Mellencamp comes back to make the list. Pink Houses.
Never even crossed my mind to get on the list.
Again, these are, look, the history of this country is complicated, and this song, I think, embodies that.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever heard that
You've
song.
heard Pink Houses.
What?
I'm not going to sit here and sing it for you, but you can
Okay.
you can look this up at your own leisure. But a couple different stories just about the American experience and maybe how, yeah.
Oh, I've heard this song. No,
Yeah.
we're good. Okay.
So sort of about
Yeah,
how,
I guess I know a little bit about it.
sort of how like the American dream is a bit of an illusion, kept at a distance for most of us in America.
It's fair.
So yeah, that one again, just
I
a
don't
classic.
have a jet
like
yet, so yeah, it definitely is. An
yeah,
illusion.
you don't have your PJ, so
Yeah.
that's number 4 for me.
All right, number 3. It was so funny. We were making a joke when we were coming in, and Devin was like, Jeff Greenwood. Well, this song is sung by Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
She thought it was Jeff Greenwood.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
God bless in the USA. Or God bless the USA,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, it's Jeff Greenwood. I'm like, that doesn't, like, it sounds right, but I don't think it's right. And I looked it up. It's Lee Greenwood.
Yep.
But that's such this. Any fireworks show you go to, they're probably gonna be blasting that in the background, you know. So that embodies 4th of July to me, and America.
Okay. Is that the name of the song? I'm just trying to remember.
God bless the USA. Yeah,
Who sings "Proud to Be an American"? Is that him too?
that's the song.
Is it the same song?
Now you have me guessing.
I just had to call this out now because I don't want to get God at everybody after the fact.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's skip forward. Yeah, I'm a proud to be an American.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called God Bless the USA. Yeah.
Okay. Same song. Good.
Yeah.
I wanted to confirm that. So that was your 3?
That was my 3.
All right, number 3 for me, because obviously it has to be on the list, and this could be higher than yours, I don't know. The Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem, specifically as performed by Jimi Hendrix.
God, that's our only crossover.
Okay.
I think it's our only crossover. I really do.
No, we have 2, because Born in the USA.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry.
But yeah, so Star Spangled Banner, this was played by Jimi Hendrix
At
at
Woodstock.
I think it's like,
Honestly, if you were hosting an event and you don't have someone to sing the national anthem,
Yeah.
this should be the only version that gets played.
so another honorable mention, I think the best vocal performance of it is Whitney Houston. But this, I just listened to the Jimi Hendrix version today just to make sure that I was correct in thinking.
Incredible.
Like, it's basically the Star Spangled Banner for him in this version is like a through line of just like a 4-minute guitar riff,
Yes.
right? Where it's like it keeps coming. It like starts with it, cuts away from it. And he's just like slaying on guitar, and then he comes back and he goes.
Like when you know,
it's awesome.
When you know it's great when Spotify has it has it on Spotify. They have it on there, and it's obviously not the most straightforward version of the song,
Right.
but like when they have it like on there as like Jimi Hendrix Woodstock National Anthem or Star Spangled Banner, you know it's good. Like
Yeah.
they don't just put any song on there. So
Where do you have that in your list?
that's my next one.
That's
was
number 2.
Yeah, that was 2 for me. Yeah, honestly it was tough. I wanted to put it 1, but then my number 1 is, to me, like embodies America.
Okay. Well, I'll get to my number 2 then.
Okay. Go for it.
Fortunate Son, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
That's also there's a lot of it talks about American life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the song's more specifically about, basically like someone who's not born into the class of like American royalty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can't get out of the Vietnam War, there was that time within the country.
Yep.
But also the song just rips.
It does rip. Like when you hear that song come on, it's kind of hard to not.
I think it might be
okay.
the song I think of when I think of 4th of July. Like
Yeah,
if I
well,
just have, like, the soundtrack,
and it's in. I think it's in Forrest Gump, isn't it?
probably.
Yeah, I think it is.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen Forrest Gump in so long, but yeah, that song is what I
It's
think
good.
of when I think of like a soundtrack that I listen to on 4th of July.
Yeah,
CCR is on it.
That's in there. All right, I'm going to explain my number 1 because it's written or it's sang by a guy that I think had every probably right to maybe not be patriotic, right? Hate the country he lives in, but he because of the success he had, he he loved America. And then for him to go, and if you've never seen the movie and like know about his life, he went from being banned from playing in a certain state to being now like I think he's in like the Georgia Hall of Fame or whatever.
Yeah.
And one of his songs is the state song of Georgia after being banned from playing in Georgia. But Ray Charles, America the Beautiful.
I put that in my honorable mentions, so I'm glad you got it here.
I mean, think about it. Like the guy at one, it plays in Sandlot. It bangs in Sandlot when they're playing baseball under the fireworks.
Yeah.
And it's just like every time I hear the song, like I kind of get a little like some goosebumps. And that to me is that embodies like what a song should do for you. And then when you're talking about what he wrote about and or what he sings about and stuff like that in that song, it's the best version of that song, period.
Yep, I agree.
Like, point blank. And Ray Charles is Ray Charles. Like, he's an incredible musician, singer, and his whole story. Like, he had every reason to not, like, be able to, like, not want to sing that song, right? But he still did. So that's why it made my one.
No, I can't argue that. Like I said, I just didn't include it in my list. It was an honorable mention for me, but I think you're totally within your right to make it number one on yours. For me, you already kind of spoiled it, but Born in the USA, number one for me. Your number three.
It is a good song. I mean, it's honestly, outside of patriotic songs, it's probably a top 25 song ever made.
I think it perfectly embodies the American experience in that it's like you can simultaneously, like, it feels like the chorus is like such a celebration, like, yeah, I'm born in the USA. But when you actually listen to the verses and stuff, it's straight up about like a Vietnam soldier coming home and not having anything.
Pretty much.
And just how horrible that experience was for that, group of people.
Yeah.
So it's like such the dichotomy of like, in one moment you can just like
I'm so proud, and then it's like, well, they kind of treated me like shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's just like that dichotomy of what it means to be an American. So for me, and then when you think of, I don't know, just like rock and roll and American music, like he's the boss.
I mean, it's
like he's I think probably the first name you list on it.
Yeah, or one of the first names you list in American rock and roll.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
And I'm not even like a Bruce Springsteen guy or anything.
No, I'm not either. I'm probably far from it, honestly, but it's still a great song.
Yeah, so that's why it was number one for me.
Yeah, those are all good. I liked it. That was good.
That would honestly went better than I thought.
And honestly, we didn't have a lot of crossover, which is always good because the crossover is a little weird. I think we kind of like, you went a different route than I did.
Yeah.
Mine are like the commercialized versions.
But
no, I thought that would be really cool.
Personally proud of you for showing restraint on Toby Keith. I can reach across the table, reach across the aisle.
Everybody I've talked to that's ever met him or like had dealings with him, like, he's kind of a shithead. So I'm like, you don't get in my power rankings, pal. You be a shithead, you don't get in mine. So
that's where we draw the line.
You don't pay your power bill at Toby Keith's down at the banks, you don't get in my power rankings. That's how that goes.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Is it time?
It is. Let's do it.
All right, we're on to Patio Beers. Grab me one of those while you're in there. Why not?
You want a black cherry? Or
if I can dodge a black cherry, I'll dodge it.
You want a grapefruit?
I mean, that could be worth it. Yeah, let's do it. That'll work.
Just so everybody knows, we're drinking high names today. I'm slightly beered out from the Reds game yesterday, and then going to a fireworks show. I needed a little mix. I did have one Miller Lite today, but like just the thought of like drinking another one was just kind of like, my stomach was kind of like, no, don't do this.
Yeah.
So
anything goes in the patio. That includes the beverage you
and
choose.
high noons. Yeah, absolutely. So anything goes in the patio. I think that I went first last week, so you go first this week.
All right, this is good because I hate my question. I admittedly didn't prepare properly, so I have a canned list that I have in my notes on my phone as like backups. This one felt appropriate, although I don't like it. 4th of July weekend, hot dog eating contest. Big, obviously, Joey Chestnut, the GOAT.
Love it.
I think this is a classic question that comes up this time of year, and I just wanted to get us both on the record. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Agreed.
And here's why. Well, one, to me, a sandwich has two ends, open ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
A hot dog bun has one open end. If we're going to get scientific behind us.
Yeah, if you were to be a psycho and eat it like top down.
Yeah, that would be... Literally, I would you need to check into a mental institution if you were going to do that. But, yeah, it's definitely not a sandwich. It's not. It's kind of in its own category, to be honest with you.
100%. Hot dog is a hot dog.
Yeah, why? Just because it's not a sandwich doesn't make it nothing. It's a hot dog or a brat or a met or whatever you're putting in between those buns. I don't think people have the same argument about is it Euros?
Yeah.
They don't have that same argument, and that's one open end, right? They're like, "Oh, is this a sandwich or is it not?" No, it's not a sandwich.
No,
it's not lunch meat. It is meat, but it's not lunch meat or anything like that.
Is a burger a sandwich?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a sandwich because you got two separate pieces of bread, and then you have meat in between.
The only thing I think you could argue is that burgers are their own class within the sandwich variety.
Yeah. There definitely are. It's not you're eating a Subway sandwich or something like that.
They qualify as a sandwich. Now, you bring up a great point by talking about a Subway sandwich. Subway, the restaurant itself, does not fully cut the bread. It's hot dog style.
It's still a sandwich, though, to me. Because, if they were to properly cut the bread, it would be.
Yeah, I just wanted to...
They don't properly cut the bread, though.
I had to get that out there just in case anybody brought that up.
Just any rebuttals
Preemptive strike.
Yeah. But they don't cut the bread properly. If I'm making a sandwich, if I had, a whole loaf of bread like they do, I would cut, it in half.
Yeah.
Not, cut one side of it,
While we're here, I'm going to make an unnecessary, unprovoked drive-by on Subway. Absolute trash. Get it out of here.
Yeah, I don't like it either. No.
It's the lowest of low among the sandwich chains.
I was never a big fan of it, and then they had the whole Jared incident, and it's definitely an out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not good.
No,
give me Jersey Mike's. I need it.
Dude, Jersey Mike's. That is a man's sandwich place.
It's the best.
They just make their sandwiches. They cut the meat on site. Don't want to go too far into it, but that's that's an actual sandwich place.
All right, I'm glad we agreed on this. That was an easy one, but we're on the record that hot dogs are not sandwiches.
They are not sandwiches at all. All right, so I saw mine on Twitter, and I was like, "That is such an odd question," but it kind of had me thinking. Okay, if you were to have a pet, right, but it can only be one of two things, would you rather have a horse-sized duck? Or a duck-sized horse as a pet. So you have a horse that's the size of a duck.
Yeah.
Or a duck that's the size of a horse.
I mean, that's no question, right? You take the duck-sized horse.
Really?
In my opinion, pets, smaller is always better. They're less messy, less chance of something getting destroyed. In general, we have two dogs. They're very small dogs. One's 18 pounds and one's 10 pounds. They make a mess. It's not that bad to clean up. If you're talking about having a horse-sized duck, you get that thing's living outside. Just imagine the shit that thing takes. Yeah. Okay. And birds poop all the time, so I can't imagine it's good.
I used to have a pet duck, by the way, on the record. His name was Howie.
You bought it, or
I bought it at a flea market out in Indiana.
That sounds
when I was 12 years
illegal.
old. And it was during the last time cicadas were here, or before this past time. Right? It was before this past cicada.
So we were in middle school, yeah.
Yeah. And I bought it, and this dude just he followed me everywhere. Everywhere. Literally everywhere.
How did this end?
So we released him into a lake.
Okay.
Over in Fairfield. And eventually he probably died. I don't know. We didn't go back and check on him.
No,
but he stayed there.
What? I can't even say anything. What?
So you want my thought on this?
Sure.
So one of my favorite movies growing up, I'm going to sound like a psycho, but was Howard the Duck. Have you ever seen Howard the Duck?
Isn't Howard the Duck a Marvel character, or am I making that up?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Okay.
But they made a movie of it, and so he's a fucking human-sized duck. And honestly...
Yeah, and he wears a robe.
For most people, a little creepy. But for me, like, I grew up watching that movie. I love that movie. And I'm like, I would want a horse-sized duck. Just because it'd be like kind of like Howie or Howard the duck, just hanging out. You know, I'll tell you this: if you have a horse-sized duck, there ain't no one fucking with your house. You have that thing sitting in the backyard, no one's coming near that thing.
What's it gonna do?
It's scary enough that no one would come near your house.
Oh my god! There's so many things just happened in the last 2 minutes. I don't even know where to go. You bought a duck at a flea market?
Yeah. Well, okay, my grandma bought it for me. I was there. It was $5, and I brought it home and raised it until it was like a year and a half old, and then released it into the wild.
My mind is blown.
We used to have this like baby pool, and like put minnows in it, and he'd just go around like picking them out of the water. Yeah, he was awesome. He was an awesome pet.
The fact that you like carried a baby duck to health and then release it into the wild. This is the craziest thing I've ever...
intro into parenthood, essentially.
I guess it all makes sense. Like
my parents are very aware. And I know I'm going to get a text from my dad. My dad, we told him we bought a duck at the flea market today. And my dad was like, no, you didn't. And like, yeah, we did. And like we were on the phone, and you just hear like quack, quack, quack in the background. He was like,
God,
you guys better not have. And we came home with a duck, and he lived with us. He lived in a playpen, like a baby, like pack and play for.
That tracks, because it's like, I think 90% of dads do not approve of any pet ever.
No.
There's a rare 10%.
I mean, I did buy a dog during Wednesday Night League last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think you might be in the rare 10% that are like in on it. And then my dad qualifies for this category.
And then I told my wife that it was a mini Bernedoodle when it actually was a full size, going to be a full size 70-pound Bernedoodle.
Yeah.
Shout out Hogan. Named after Ben Hogan, by the way.
Exactly.
But yeah, I had a duck. Mm-hmm. Pet duck. But I would definitely want a duck-sized horse, or duck the size of a horse.
Yeah, sure. I think you're just wrong about this. But that's fine. I don't want anything to do with either of these options. By the way.
All right.
So
we're gonna do an extension to the patio beers here.
Okay.
There is a phenomenon going around. I think I sent it to you. This guy, he bet his friend that he couldn't do 50 combined, right? Either beers, donuts, miles. Okay. And I actually think with my wife going out of town here in a couple weeks, I'm going to, whatever number I come up with, I'm going to attempt.
You should not do this. This will only end poorly for you.
So this guy, for people that don't know, his friend bet him that he couldn't run or eat donuts or beers a combined 50 in a day, right? Did I get that right?
So wait, you get it within a day?
It's a day. 1 day.
Okay.
So 50 of whatever you want. Like, so you run 25 miles, you drink 10 beers, you need to eat 15 donuts.
Yeah.
Now, this guy the guy that originally did it went the complete opposite route I would go. He went like 30 miles running.
Yep.
So he ran essentially more than a marathon. He ate like 19 donuts and had 1 beer. Not the route I would go.
No.
That's what he did. He literally had 1 beer. He's like, I ran to the bar, got to 49, and then he had a beer with his friend who he bet. 1 day.
Well, that's
50.
I guess that's a difference. Like him doing it that way, I think makes it unique, I guess.
Yeah, because like the running, that's pretty impressive. 30 miles in 1 day is ridiculous.
All I know is, however I'm doing this, I am minimizing the number of donuts I'm eating. Whatever, that's the lowest.
I'm not a big donut person. I'll be honest with you.
I think it compromises your ability to do the other stuff.
100. Like, I feel like I can do a lot on beer. I don't think I can do a lot on donuts.
It's just too much sweetness.
Would I start out with the day and like I'm gonna have 2 donuts, probably, maybe 3. But like after that, I'm gonna figure out a way how I can like run/walk as many miles as possible and drink as many.
No, you can't even qualify it. You got to run the miles. There's no walking.
Okay, so the question is, just 50 is absurd.
General breakdown.
Okay, 50 is absolutely absurd. So if you had to set an over-under for yourself to do this, like what's a legitimate breakdown of like miles, running, donuts, beers? Like what would that number look like if you had to do an over-under? This guy looked like he was in pretty good shape. So like for him, 30 miles is a lot, but like for me, like probably doing like 8 miles of running would be a lot for me.
Yeah. Well, I did just run a half marathon. So I know I've got the 13.2 or 13.1 somewhere in the
But
tank.
like if you started early in the morning.
Yeah, I think I could break it down in like 2 separate intervals of running. I just don't know how many I could get in the second run. I'm thinking total between the 3. I think around 30 is safe. 30 is a safe, I'll clear it.
Yeah, so what I was thinking, I think you're thinking along the same lines as me. Because I'm not a donut person. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, 3 donuts, okay? I can probably run, if I put my mind to it, I could go out and run 7 or 8 miles. Like, if I put my mind to it and go, okay, the next 2.5 hours or whatever, I'm just going to run. Like, I could do 7.
You got to break it up.
Well, okay, let's just say I'm going to do 2.5 hours of running. Maybe it's an hour, half hour, whatever it is.
Okay.
Break it up.
And just see how many
like,
miles
I'm going to probably do like 8 or 9 miles. Like, that would be my limit before I would just get bored, and 2, be worn out. Okay. So let's just say we're at 11. I know if I put my mind to, like, if I ran and ate 3 donuts, and then like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, all right, I'm done with that portion. I can go to town on some beers.
Oh my God.
Like, I think I could get, let's see, so I'm at 11. I definitely think I could get the 31 or 32, probably.
Yeah.
Because, like, like, if I put my mind to it, there is no case of beer safe.
Yeah.
But that would require me to do 20 beers. Ish.
I think I can do that. I think I can do 30 pretty easily, because I think what I can do is
But you kind of hit it. I was thinking 30. I mean, I think a safe number, like if we were a betting person, 30 would be like right at the number. Like it would just depend on how tired I was from running and how late I could stay up drinking.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't do it past 12 o'clock because it's 24 hours. You get 24 hours to do it.
Right. I think I would just straight up first thing in the morning. The more I think about it, you should not break up the running, because then you're going to get in a situation where you've probably had donuts or beer between, and then I think you're in trouble.
That's what that guy did. Did you see the original video? He like broke it up. He was like, oh, I did 8 miles in the morning. Then I had 17 donuts, and then ran again. And then he was like, I came home and I felt tired, so I had more donuts, and then ran again. I'm like, you are a psychopath.
I think if you have to push for 50, that might be the way you have to. But for 30, I think my strategy would be, I'm getting up and I'm running like 12 miles, because I know I can do that.
Like, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and like, okay, I'm gonna get as much running knocked out right now as I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the 12.
Because he did work a little bit between, like, he didn't do all this.
Yeah.
So like, I would do that. I would get up at like 6, do some running, do as much running as I could before like 8 o'clock, and then I'd work a little bit. Maybe have 3 or 4 donuts, and then go out and maybe try to squeeze in a couple more miles. And then at that point, after I'm done working, I go like, okay, we're going to go hammer time on some beers now.
Yeah, I think if I accomplish that 12 up front, I think I'm in the clear.
See, I think our 30 would look a lot differently.
Yeah, I would do the 12 miles. I would eat. I think that would set me up for success, because then I can break up the beers and donuts how I want to. I think I could probably do 3 donuts, like just crush them real quick. Yeah. That gets me. Then I have to do 15 beers.
And no fancy donuts. Like this guy was eating like Boston creams. I'm like, this guy's a fucking maniac.
No, I think
I'm doing like Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. That's it. Like
I'd probably go Dunkin' like with like some frosting. The problem with Krispy Kreme, those glazed are freaking coated.
They are, but
that's so much sugar.
You can't do Boston creams or anything cream filled.
We're not going to Holman's.
Honestly, any jelly filled thing is like out of the question
for sure.
But I think I could do 30, and mostly because of my ability to drink beer.
Yeah.
And I think for you, it's mostly your ability to run.
Yeah.
Because like if I knew if I could get to 8 miles running, I could get it 100%.
Because like for me, like 30 minutes of running takes out like 4 beers that I would have to drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
sort of like the
yeah.
equivalent of that.
But I think legitimately, if I could get to 8 to 9 miles running, I could get to 30.
Yeah.
50 is obscene. Like me, I would be like, I would get done running like 9 miles. I'm like, all right, we're gonna try to fill in this other 20, like 39 with beers. So that's kind of where I would
Yeah,
land
that
at.
50 would be so tough.
Yeah, but 30, I think I'm gonna try it. I think I'm gonna do it. Like when my kids are out of town and I have a day where I can just get up, run, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna have to let me know if you do this because we're documenting it for sure.
But 30, I think, is a fair. That 50 is obscene,
Yeah, 50 is a lot.
but I feel like 30 is pretty doable. I mean, I think it's hard enough that would be a good over/under.
I think so too.
Yeah, I said we needed to talk about this today. So
No,
that's
that was
why I brought
good.
it up.
That was good.
All right,
All right.
30. All right, I'm gonna attempt it. I don't know if you will.
Probably not, but I'll be there to watch you do it. For sure. That'll be our first like produced videos. You trying to do this dumbass challenge.
Oh God. All
All right. On that note, we're gonna get ready to play some golf in the morning. Everybody have a great 4th of July. Have some patio beers. Play some golf if that's your sport of
Don't
choice.
set fireworks off in your hand.
Don't JPP yourself. And other
Yeah.
than that, happy birthday, America.
Yeah, happy birthday, America. And then hats.
Are they coming?
I mean, they're gonna be here
They've been
soon.
ordered.
We already got a couple people that want them. I showed pictures of them to them.
Beautiful.
So, but yeah, other than that, have a great 4th of July. Hopefully win some money tomorrow.
Cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.